What is going on, everybody? We're here. We are live for Sports Wars Sunday. March Madness, the Final Four is almost set. We've had some pretty great games over the past couple days. One that didn't end particularly well for me, but that's all right. I'm still here. Didn't kill myself after the ending of the Purdue game, which is always a positive. Major League Baseball is here. Opening day was Thursday. Beardo, you streamed for what, like 12 hours over on Locals for opening day?
Damn near. It was like close to 11 hours on opening day. So I'm kind of still recovering from that, but it's good to be here, man. And I'm ready to talk about all this stuff.
Yeah, for you guys that don't know, over on Geeks and Gamers Locals, we've been doing some sports watch parties and stuff. And there's a variety of things. There's things that aren't really sports, but are more entertainment, like WWE reactions. Sometimes we'll be watching UFC fights depending on the day and depending on how big the card may be. We've done March Madness watch-alongs and reactions. We've done hockey, Major League Baseball. So we've got a lot of stuff going over on Geeks and Gamers Locals if you guys do want to get in on that. And, because of Locals, because it's, the way it's set up, we can actually show you the games as we're reacting to it. We're not going to get struck down. We're not just streaming it with no commentary or anything like that. We're obviously commenting and it's transformative and everything, but way easier to do something like that over on Locals so you guys can watch the game along with us as we talk about it.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have a good time over there. And, we're doing stuff like that every week, several times a week. So it's a good time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that I was not doing a stream or watch along or anything like that for the Purdue Houston game. Look, I picked Houston to beat Purdue in my bracket. That's how I felt. That's who I thought was going to make the Sweet 16, and I thought Houston was the better, more complete team. So when I was making my bracket, I picked them. However, of course, I'm going to be rooting for my Purdue Boilermakers. And what a fucking game. First of all, some positive news. I know, Beardo, you probably haven't checked your bracket in a while for good reason.
No. Yeah.
Look, I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling okay so far. I'm in the 95th percentile. I got 7 of the 8 elite teams, or the elite 8 teams, right. I thought St. John's would make it. I do have my pick is Michigan State beating Auburn today and making it into the Final Four. Duke and Florida are already in this thing. Duke and Florida won. Florida had a very, very tough matchup yesterday. What we saw from Texas Tech, it looked like Texas Tech had this thing in the bag, and then they just could not hit their free throws down the stretch. They let Florida back in this game, and Florida is still alive. Duke kind of cruised a little bit in its game over Alabama. Alabama put on an incredible offensive performance to make it to that game in their Sweet 16 game, but they could not hang with the Duke Blue Devils. But we got 2 more spots. Michigan State, Auburn. That tips off at 5:05. And we have Houston against Tennessee tipping off a little bit after we finish this stream, so 2:20. That'll determine the last 2 spots in the Final Four. In terms of our Sports Wars bracket, look, my goal was to be on the front page of this thing. That's where I wanted to end up, front page of this thing. Tied for 6th right now. Feeling okay. This Michigan State game is going to be big. A lot of people picked Auburn. A lot of people picked Auburn to make the Final Four. I picked Michigan State. So that's the game that I'm going to be looking at very, very closely. Beardo, Tennessee's still in it.
Yeah, there you go.
You got a chance.
I do have a chance.
I wonder, we should find you, actually. Hold on. Here it is. Tennessee.
There I am. Let's go.
You got Tennessee still alive.
Mm-hmm.
And you got Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, no, Kansas.
I had Kansas. I had Kansas.
That's right. Sorry.
Yeah.
So no, okay, so no Kansas, no Vandy, no Auburn, but you do still have Tennessee. You can rack up a couple points here. And that last one is 320 points, man. You can shoot up the rankings pretty quickly.
I need it.
So
Sadly.
big shout out to the 112 people who joined the Sports Wars bracket. We'll see where that ends up. A couple other people that have Duke up there. I don't know if I can actually win it or not. I haven't really looked, so it's going to be tight, though. It's going to be tight. We'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
But I got to go over the ending of the Purdue game. I really thought about sitting down and doing a video on this and everything. And I'm like, I can't just fucking sit here and do it, but I can do it on a stream. The Purdue Boilermakers, who were in the NCAA championship last year and lost to UConn, obviously lost the best player in the country in Zach Edey, but they had some returning talent. Braden Smith went on to win Big Ten Player of the Year and become an All-American. Fletcher Lawyer is still out there. Trey Kaufman-Wren really came on this season. But Houston, tons of fucking talent. Number 1 seed. This game was a little, not really back and forth. It was mostly Purdue trying to hang in. It was Purdue trying to hang in the entire game. Houston is the best defensive team in the country. And Braden Smith was effectively able to dominate the second half of this game by being an actual fucking point guard. One of the best point guards we've seen in the NCAA in years, like in terms of pure point guard, controls the offense, things like that. 15 assists in the game. In the second half, Purdue had 11 field goals. Braden Smith had 11 assists. He assisted on every one of Purdue's field goals. And I am going to talk a little bit about some of the, stuff down the stretch. Overall, I think this was a horribly officiated game on both sides of the ball for Houston and Purdue. In the first half, there was a blatant goaltending by, I think, Caleb First for Purdue that did not get called. Ended up actually leading to a rebound and a foul, which then ultimately led to 2 points for Purdue. So that's a 4-point swing right there early in the game. There was also a bad out-of-bounds call that went Purdue's way early in the first half. Second half is a completely different story. Second half, especially down the stretch in the last 3 to 4 minutes, there were 2 horrific out-of-bounds calls that were clearly out on Houston that went to them. They got called out on Purdue. And then, of course, the controversy right at the end. But let's get into it. Because Purdue was hanging in, gets down 10 with like 4 minutes left, keeps fighting. And then you had this. And Grant, look, this is in Indianapolis, right? About an hour and a half away from Purdue campus, right? 60, 70 miles from West Lafayette. So this place is full of Boilermaker fans. Purdue down 3, just like they did all game long. They double team Braden Smith as soon as he gets the ball. Look at this shot.
Everyone watching Braden Smith of Purdue. Where will he go with 5 to shoot? Smith with Roberts on him. Smith to the corner. Heidi a 3. It's good! We are tied!
As the shot clock expires, fucking Heidi kind of fading away a little bit because of that challenge, fucking drains it to tie this bitch up. I was going nuts. Nobody could see me. I was just sitting there in my living room. I was going crazy. And then we have this, right? Houston with only, there's like a 3-second discrepancy. So, they're going to take all the time they can off the clock. If they make it, great. If they miss it, doesn't give Purdue a lot of time, right? That was their perspective going in. So dribbling the ball around a little bit.
Start going.
We get this switch, just like Purdue was basically trying to do all game.
Uzan with 5 to shoot. Uzan, Smith to the ground. Uzan, turnaround, not there. The tip, no, and it goes out of bounds to
Houston. Now look, I have a couple things to say about this play. It's clearly a push-off. You're going to see a second angle. It's clearly a push-off. Would probably be an offensive foul in any other situation in the game. It's going to be really hard to get a ref to blow a whistle for an offensive foul in this situation. And I get that. It's kind of like pass interference on a Hail Mary type of thing. The refs don't really want to be that much of a determining factor. However, when you don't blow the whistle, you also are a determining factor. And I want to replay that so we can get these couple angles here. And even these fucking announcers who were dog shit all game couldn't help but say something about this.
Uzan ends up taking a tough shot. You really need to get something going to the basket in that situation. He could have gotten called for pushing off there too.
I says could have got called for pushing off. And you know what? Is he flopping? Is he whatever? It's tough to see live, especially maybe from that angle. But here's the angle that the referee had. And I don't know if it's that tough to tell.
That it's Houston basketball. Oh, that's
full extension of the arm. Full extension of the arm against a smaller Braden Smith. Doesn't get called. That's a tough whistle to get blown in that moment. And I understand that. And that led to an absolutely brilliant inbounds play from Houston. And I'll go over why it was brilliant specifically against Purdue and why somebody got open like this. But 2 seconds left. Well, 2.8 seconds left. Fucking heartbreaking.
In the Elite Eight. Uzan gets it in, gets it back, and he puts it in! What a play! And now the officials will stop the clock.
And that's the fucking game. Now, the reason this was such a brilliant play from Houston, I hate Kelvin Sampson, used to be at IU. I think he's a fucking retarded piece of shit. But look, this is a great play. And Uzan barely got his feet in bounds, by the way, before catching that ball. So good job on that. Good focus. And with the finish. The reason this is a great inbounds play is because what should be happening, right, is when this occurs, and this is what Purdue does. I'm going to show you a couple other plays. Purdue switches for these, these baseline out of bounds plays. Well, yes, of course, there's that. Where are my other ones here? Where the fuck are my other ones? Hold on.
Where are they at?
Where are they at? So I imagine you didn't watch that, Beardo. You didn't watch that game.
No, I was busy the past couple of days, kind of out of town. So I didn't get to catch too much college basketball or baseball the past 2 days.
Man, I don't care if I'm out of bounds. I'm watching my Purdue Boilermakers, but of course they're my team, so that makes more sense. All right. This is from like some of these clips are like a year or two old. So this is from 2000. This is from earlier this season. So this is from this season. And I want to show you what Purdue specifically does here. Right? So when they run outside screens like this, it's almost the same.
You need
I'm
to
not
share
sharing. Fuck, because this stupid StreamYard. All right. So obviously, other end of the court that we're seeing here. You're going to see somebody come up and wrap around a screen, and instead of getting peeled off or getting an open shot, what you see happen is the baseline defender, as soon as they see where that play is going and that peel is going, they bolt to cover that guy, and you need to have the other guy rotate up to take
the game,
to deny the pass or to guard the inbounder like this.
For the young post. They're going to need it.
So kind of same exact thing. You can see exactly what's happening. Right, you see the baseline guy bolt to the person who got open from the screen, and the guy who would have had to fight through that screen rotate down to cover the baseline. That was from earlier this year. This is a game from last year's NCAA tournament, I believe. And you can see Purdue, a couple different players on the floor, but effectively the same exact thing. Right? You see the baseline guy, you see the screener, you see somebody running free. Right? There's the screen where the guy gets open. He's about to go. So you see this guy come down. That's what they run. That's what Purdue runs. That's how they guard and defend against these baseline out of bounds plays. And it was a brilliant call to have that such a quick, because that was their goal. Basically what they had during this play, their first option was to hit Cryer in the corner, right? Big 12 player of the year right there in the corner. That was their first read. Their second one was to hopefully set this screen in a way that prevented this guy from being able to get back fast enough and do real quick, boom, boom, done. And it was just so well executed. For people that don't know basketball, who is like, why would you leave the inbounder? That's how they play. That's how they have played these. That's how a lot of teams defend those. But I mean, it's hard to watch this over and over again.
Just to confirm that it's Houston basketball. Oh, that's
not just a little elbow. That's full extension of the arm. That's 100% a foul, and it got missed. I don't think there's a grand conspiracy to not let Purdue win this game. It's just, that's how it is. First half, a lot of calls went the Boilermakers' way. Second half, and specifically in these big moments down the stretch, just some bad calls. And it sucks. That's heartbreaking. But this Purdue team is going to be back with a vengeance next year. None of these guys are transferring. None of these guys. Braden Smith's not going to go to the NBA. They're fucking coming back. They're running it back. And I cannot wait to see this Purdue team next year because they were not supposed to be this good this year. Losing Edey, losing all those pieces. So, fuck, man. Just a brutal way to lose a game.
Mm-hmm.
Just a brutal way to lose a basketball game.
Heartbreaker.
Those like, man, I almost wish we would have got it blown out. But no, I'm glad it was competitive. I'm glad it came down to the last play. I just wish it would have turned out a little better.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Charles Barkley. So because you've employed a boneheaded strategy in the past, it's obviously wise to stick with it. No, it's not a boneheaded strategy. They're one of the best teams at defending baseline out of bounds in the fucking NCAA. It just so happens that Houston schemed up one play in an area of the court that would perfectly take advantage of that. And you saw earlier in that game the way Purdue defended it, and they got two steals on two separate plays because of the way they specifically defended baseline out of bounds. It's not a bad strategy. It was the perfect offensive concept to adapt to that strategy. That's what happened. It was perfect. So, congrats to Houston. I hope you get fucking annihilated. I don't care if I picked you in my bracket. I hope you get annihilated, and I hope everyone dies on the floor in your next game. But congratulations. Beardo, how are your Angels doing? Before we get to super chats.
Oh shit, trash, man. Opening day was fucking terrible. I don't know. Let me see their exact standings right now. What the record is. I'm sure we don't have any wins.
You won yesterday.
We're 1-1. There you go. See, I was busy yesterday, man. I was busy driving around and doing shit yesterday. Well, I'm glad that we won yesterday because Thursday was awful. Mike Trout gets hit in the wrist in his very first at bat, and everyone's hoping, God, I just hope that Mike Trout stays healthy this year. We moved him to right field to, for him to not have as much, traffic on the legs this year by playing center. Let's move him to right, a little bit less action, hopefully. What happens? First at bat, nailed in the fucking wrist. I hate what Arden Marino has done to the Angels. He's the worst he's the worst owner in all of sports, maybe other than Jerry Jones. He doesn't care about the team. He doesn't care about building up the pitching staff. He doesn't care about the farm system. All he cares about is fucking advertisements and putting advertisements all around Angel Stadium and inside Angel Stadium. He doesn't care. The Angels is just a cash cow for him because people who have nothing to do in the Orange County, Southern California area, they're going to go to Angel games. Angel games are fun. It's a great stadium. It's a great ballpark to watch a baseball game. Unfortunately, they watch a lot of the Angels losing in that ballpark. But Artie Moreno doesn't care because he puts butts in the seats and advertisers are going to pay. So Artie Moreno needs to sell the team, or unfortunately, if he doesn't, they're not going to be good until he passes away. Fuck the Angels. Fuck Artie Moreno. But I have to root for them. They're my team because they've been my team for forever. So.
They do have decent attendance. 31,800. That was their average last season. And it's not like they were good. So that is interesting. I wasn't sure how many people would actually go to those games.
People go to the games. It's a good time. Even though the Angels stink, they go to the game. So they do have a loyal fan base. And also, teams travel well there. Like Houston's not too far away. Yankees fans are always, the Angels host the Yankees a few times a year. So you're gonna get opposing teams. Like Seattle ain't too far away. Houston ain't too far away. Texas ain't too far away. We get a lot of opposing fans go to the games too. So especially those Yankee games, man. It's like when you're seeing Yankees at Angels, 50% of the attendance is going to be Yankees fans.
Yeah, man, look, as a Cubs fan who it doesn't even matter if we're good or not. Anytime I've ever gone to a Cubs game at a visiting stadium, there's a ton of representation there. Like that's, I always love seeing that shit, but I could not imagine my team being like that, right? Like if fucking every time the Dodgers come into town, the place is just covered in fucking Dodger blue, right? I experienced that in San Diego when I was there because fuck, man, Dodgers games full of Dodgers fans. San Francisco games full of San Francisco fans, and then you do have like the in general out of division, like out of location, like Yankees, of course, Cubs, of course, and stuff like that. But it's pretty wild.
Yeah, Gun Home Mac's right. Angel Stadium is surrounded by breweries. That's true. There's a Carl Strauss and a Gold Coast, I believe, Gold Coast Brewery, literally right across the street. Two of them right there. So there is a lot of stuff to do around Angel Stadium too. A lot of pre-gaming opportunities. So Angel games are a good time, but they just fucking stink, and they've stunk since 2003.
Zenny Biscuit for $5. Tappan Street wins Florida Derby, and Sandman wins the Arkansas Derby, and their places in the Kentucky Derby. Nice.
Yeah, Golden Road Brewery. Thank you.
Golden Road.
Golden
Thank you, Zenny Biscuit, for the super chat. B-Chain, glad the Brewers and Yankees agreed to a batting practice spring training game yesterday. Oh, wait, that counted? Ew. Let's go Mets. Yes, and in fact, I saw this come in as well. Mike Hill for $5. Aaron Judge already on fire, hitting 3 home runs yesterday, including a grand slam. Yeah.
I saw your post about the bats. I have it pulled up if you don't.
Yeah, you can pull it up. So the Yankees, a lot of talk yesterday was about these new bats that the Yankees are using, which are a slightly different shape. And here we go. We can listen to it, actually. Yeah.
We can?
Yeah, listen to it.
Okay. Yeah, so look at this bat shape. I didn't know about this until Ryan pointed it out yesterday. This is a very interesting.
Now, you see the shape of Chisholm's bat.
Dude, it's got a big barrel on it.
Well, it's actually a little bit lower than the barrel. The Yankee front office, the analytics department, did a study on Anthony Volpe. And every single ball, it seemed like he hit on the label. He didn't hit any on the barrel. So they had bats made up where they moved a lot of the wood into the label, so the harder part of the bat is going to actually strike the ball.
That'd be a weird way to hit. Going up there expecting to get jammed and putting the meat of the bat towards the label.
It'd allow you to wait a little bit longer.
Yeah, your weight, all right. Dude.
And one of the reasons this was such a big talk, so the Yankees hit 9 fucking home runs yesterday. Aaron Judge hit 3. I think the first 3 pitches of the game were home runs. At least for them. You can watch this. The Yankees absolutely went off. Here it is. 3 pitches, 3 homers.
Wow.
And the fact that this, I fucking hate the Yankees and the Dodgers, man. Like, just because you hear this. Paul Goldschmidt, Cody Bellinger, and Aaron Judge hit back-to-back home runs.
2 tricks for the Yankees.
Goldschmidt swings at the first pitch and lofts it to left center field and deep. Mitchell back, track, wall.
There's one. There's Bellinger.
In 67 games, Bellinger lost one deep to right center.
Oh, fuck yeah. He got all of that one.
Fucking launched. And then, of course, this man right here.
That one's driven deep to left field. There it goes. See ya. Back to back.
Wow.
Back to start the Yankees offensive output. And yeah, a lot of talk about those bats out there. And, it obviously they looked at it. They looked at the data. They saw how many people were hitting, just a little short of that barrel, move a little bit of the wood off of the top in terms of the very end of the bat. Kind of, and by move it, I mean just when they construct it, that's what their focus is. They're not physically moving it, obviously, and have just a little meatier section down there by where the label would be. And look, I don't know how much of an impact that had on 9 home runs against the Brewers. Could just be one of those days, but it's going to be an interesting thing to take a look at, especially as Aaron Judge continues to have, crazy home run season after crazy home run season. Had 3 home runs yesterday, had a grand slam, just barely missed out on another home run that ended up being a double. But
Mm-hmm.
The Yankees went the fuck off yesterday. They beat the Brewers 20-6.
Yeah. And clearly this is something that
20-9. I'm sorry. Don't want to
holy
shoot the Brewers.
fuck.
20-9.
20-9. Holy shit. This obviously got approved by MLB. It's not like the Yankees just snuck this in there. It got approved by MLB, and it'll be interesting to see if other teams start to take this approach and start to design their bats that way too. Very interesting. Innovations. Yeah, it's interesting, man. It's interesting how the game still evolves with as far as equipment goes, unlike those fucking cheating Nationals putting a fucking camera out in center field, actually reconstructing the design of the baseball bat. That's cool, man. I actually think that's cool to see the evolution of it all.
Yeah, and it falls in line with MLB's rules. So MLB has rules for how long the bat can be and how wide it can be at its like thickest point, right? Mm-hmm. But in terms of, moving some off the end, having a little bit thicker towards where we typically consider the barrel start thinning, that's allowed, at least as of right now. It's allowed, kind of moving the weight around in that bat in a different way. And I'm sure you can't just like grab it and be like, okay, I'm better now. I'm sure it would take adjusting because the entire balance of that bat is going to feel different based on where that weight is distributed. But we'll see what it does for the Yankees, as if they needed any other advantages other than their fucking payroll and play.
You still have to make contact. You still have to make, clean contact. It's not like you said, all of a sudden you just grab this bat and you're going to be instantly better. No, that's not how it works.
Yeah, all you got to do is juice and you'll be immediately better.
Yeah, that's why Mark McGwire was so good. He just juiced and it just made him a better baseball player. Had nothing to do with him actually having to make contact. He was just better because he took steroids. Just look at Jose Canseco. Is he a fucking Hall of Famer because he was taking massive amounts of steroids? No.
Alex MacArthur for 2. LeBron sucks, so enter code drunk3PO. Thank you, Alex. We'll talk about LeBron. LeBron on his little fucking media tour playing victim. Using Pat McAfee to do it. It's probably a smart thing. Mick Walsh for 2. The LeBron Stephen A beef is comedy gold. We will get to that. We got some super chats to catch up on them, but we will get to that. AJ Gutrung for 5. I don't know much about baseball, but why do they play teams in a series and not just a single game, if that makes sense?
Traveling.
Yeah, because you're playing essentially every day. Baseball season, you're going to play 27 games a month, something like that. 162 games in, a 6-month period of time. So it wouldn't really make sense for every day to travel to a different place. So instead, you're going to have about 20 games against your kind of division rivals, in that area, 18, 20, something like that. And so you're going to go there. You're going to have a 3-game series there. And usually teams will have home stretches. It's not you'll have 3 games at home, then 3 games on the road, then 3 games at home. It'll be like, hey, you're home for a week and a half. You're going to have 3-4 series at home. Not usually 4 in a row, but like 2 or 3 series in a row at home. Then you're going to go on a road stretch. And they try to make it make sense in terms of where teams are traveling because there's so many fucking games.
Yep.
Mike Hill, nearly 200 dogs seized from former NFL player LaShawn Johnson in dogfighting case.
Really?
Mike Vick 2.0.
Damn.
Let's look.
Mike Vick walked so LaShawn Johnson could run.
200 dogs.
Holy shit.
Dogfighting operation. That's crazy. Yeah, he was a Green Bay Packer at one point in time, so I suppose it makes sense. Not a lot of great people there. Thank you, Mike Hill. AJ Gutrung for 2. Cubs blue better than Dodgers blue.
It's true.
I agree. I'm not going to disagree with that. Dom H with 10 gifted memberships. Our man Dom, I bet he was happy yesterday. Dom's a Yankees fan. Cole Hauser for 5. What's up, Ryan? My man Beardo. Go Yankees. Ryan, you and Jay's commentary on morning routine was commentary gold. I was dying laughing. Go Yankees. Yeah, I think one daily we were reacting to that Ashton Hall guy's morning routine thing that went viral.
Mm-hmm.
So
because I've seen that just like from my Instagram algorithm with like, some fitness stuff. Like I've seen Ashton Hall's like clips from years ago. And so I thought it was funny that all of a sudden it's blown up. I thought it was ridiculous back then too.
Yeah. Well, it's just like there are some parts of it that are not ridiculous. In terms of like that is a fucking great way, like physical and mental health, the idea of having a routine, knowing what you're going to do.
Sure.
Like those are good things.
Mm-hmm.
However, the way it's portrayed and the ridiculousness of so much of it and the Saratoga water everywhere and like the fucking banana peel,
on his face and having to set up the camera with the tripod every single fucking time, 20 different times, and then like acting like this is this time. Like it didn't take you 4 fucking minutes to set up the tripod in the other direction to get the other camera angle.
Doing it.
Could be. It could have been his girlfriend too. Yeah. And like
he got evicted, by the way, from that place.
Everything is perfect and very clean, and everything is like perfectly in its spot, and just like everything is just perfect. He got evicted though.
He did, yeah. Like after that went viral, a lot of people were looking into it, and they saw that his name was on an eviction notice for some property in Miami, and that property had previous listings or whatever. And so they looked, it's that place. It is that condo. Like the view was the same. The door was the same. The place is the same. He got evicted from that place at some point in time.
So he's broke.
I don't know, man. If you can't afford a fucking $18,000 condo, I don't know if you're broke in the same way everyone's broke.
Sure.
Like it was like $18,000 or $20,000 a month.
Fuck, dude. So, that's crazy.
It is a lot.
Driven around.
I don't know, man. We got to do at least 10,000. But yes, that was interesting. The American man for 5, my World Series champion Dodgers just swept Detroit. I was able to attend game 3 to witness the sweep, and now we're 5-0. Let's go Dodgers. Yeah, Mookie had a walk-off the other night. Mookie Betts has been having some issues and been sick and apparently lost like 15 pounds. Came in a little underweight because of that sickness, and he had a 2 home run day, and he had a walk-off bomb the other night. So that was pretty cool. That lineup is fucking stacked, man.
Mm-hmm.
The Greg for 5. I'm a SoCal Mariners fan, and even I know the Angels suck. Make UCLA great again.
Thank you, Greg.
Dark Knight Rider, worst sports owner, Bob Nutting enters the chat. There's a lot of San Diego, now LA Chargers fans hate the owner, the Spanos family, right? Dean Spanos.
Yeah, Dean Spanos.
Yeah. They hate him. Joe C. Pureblood. Wrong, Beardo. Angels were successful up until 2014. After 22 World Series, they had 5 division titles, 2 wild cards. Past 10 years have been dismal.
And they have nothing to show for it. And they were the number 1 seed in the American League in 2014. And what happened? They got swept by the wild card Royals. So got nothing to fucking show for it, and you're wasting Mike Trout's career.
Super based for 5. I was at the final A's game. Place was about to riot for hatred of the owner, John Fisher. It was palpable with flares and people ripping out seats.
Mm-hmm. They're ripping out seats for like to save it, like as memorabilia, whatever.
Yeah. But yes, I mean the hatred for that fucking owner. Look, Tampa Bay is not happy with their owner either. They would sell the team stuff, and now it's funny because since they're playing at a minor league stadium, well, not even a minor league stadium, a spring training stadium, but effectively a minor league stadium is the feel of it. At Yankees spring training, because their stadium got destroyed in the hurricane. The owner's box is very close, and he's very visible, and you had people yelling at him and holding up sell the team signs and him looking directly at them and shit. So rough.
Mm-hmm.
B-Chain for 2. They've also played series for the last 150 years. That's true. They have played series for a long time. Taker for 5. Ryan, I think Edie's doing well for the crime town, Tennessee Grizzlies. Yeah, Zach Edey, rookie from Memphis. So he had a double-double last night. I always questioned, even when I saw Edey dominating in college, how he was going to be able to translate to the NBA just because it is a different game and he's so big. And how is he going to defend anybody on the perimeter? Like, how is he going to defend a stretch five? And, I liked what I've seen from Edey this year. He's working his way, man. So I like it. Giants play the Bears this year in Chicago. You guys going to locals that shit? We might have to do a locals reaction stream to Giants Bears.
That'd be fun. Yeah.
See Shedeur Sanders in action.
Planning on doing Monday Night Football, especially. Monday Night Football will be on locals every week this year.
Burn, I want to know how much they can mess with bat dimensions. Like, can we get wavy bats and so? I don't think so. There's something in there that it has to be like, well, I guess if it is maybe wave, it could qualify. It's like smooth and round is like one of the things. So you can't have like a square up there. Right?
Yeah, you're not going to be swinging like a cricket.
You could have like a 2x4.
Right.
There are rules. They're fucking somewhere. Hold on. Let's see. All right, here we go. The bat shall be a smooth, round stick, not more than 2.61 inches in diameter at the thickest part, and not more than 42 inches in length. The bat shall be one piece of solid wood. They talk about cupped bats. An indentation on the bat up to 1.25 inches in depth is permitted, but maybe no wider than 2 inches, no less than 1 inch diameter. The indentation must be curved with no foreign substance added. The bat handle for not more than 18 inches from its end may be covered or treated with any material substance to improve the grip. So that's talking about, whether it's tape or whether it's pine tar, the whole 18 inches fucking rule.
Yep.
And yeah, it looks like, I don't know about the wavy.
So no crazy shapes and sizes. It's got to be long and round.
Yeah. The Pistons are back. Dude, Pistons are good, man. They've got such an interesting balance of obviously young, hungry guys and a couple veteran presences that, bro, Detroit looks fun. They look fun. So, and that's all with Jaden Ivey not in. My man, my Purdue Boilermaker, Jaden Ivey, by the way. George Brett, you call that a bat?
George Brett.
You called that a bat?
That was his freak out, right? George Brett.
That?
He was the freak out.
George Brett. Out?
Yeah, the pine tar freak out for Kansas City.
I think that was Brett.
I think so too. Because he hit a home run and then he got called out because the pine tar was just barely too much up the barrel.
They did the whole thing where they line.
They measure it on home plate.
On home plate is where they measure it.
Yep.
So, yep. But we got to talk a little bit about LeBron James. Some of it good, some of it bad. Some of it just fucking embarrassing. But let me make sure I got these things up. I do have all these things up here. Let's talk about LeBron James, because LeBron James has been in mega bitch mode basically all season long. He's unhappy because he's getting criticized for his play. He's unhappy because people are acknowledging the death of the NBA, that LeBron James and Adam Silver, under their tenure, the NBA has been completely and totally destroyed. And you can bring a lot of those things directly back to LeBron. He's not happy about that. He's not happy about people talking about his son. He's not happy about the fact that he's further away from the GOAT argument than he has been in recent years. He's not happy. So he goes on Pat McAfee's show, and LeBron does not do this almost ever, right? LeBron goes on Pat McAfee's show. Now, I watch the Pat McAfee show. I enjoy the Pat McAfee show from time to time. But if you're going somewhere to get some sort of hard-hitting interview, this is not the place. The reason athletes like Aaron Rodgers and other people go on Pat McAfee's show is because he basically just makes them feel comfortable and let them say whatever the fuck they want. And that's what LeBron did this entire time. Now, he lied over and over again about whether his style of play. He tried to disparage basically everyone that came before him. He talked about Giannis Antetokounmpo being able to score 250 points in the 70s and 80s. And that's something we've never seen from a lot of the other greats historically. Take, for instance, when Magic and Bird, did they ever fucking shit all over the guys that played before them? Michael, when people said, do you think that you're the greatest of all time? And Michael just starts listing all the great players who played before. And he said, I could never say that I'm better than these guys. LeBron's different because LeBron's a bitch. And of course, he brings up Stephen A. Smith. On Stephen A.'s own network, LeBron James shits all over Stephen A. Smith, which is an interesting dynamic. Stephen A. Smith is fired back. People are sick of this shit. And Michael Wilbon of ESPN as well actually did an interview over on Outkick about LeBron, about Stephen A., about everything. And he essentially said, and I've heard Charles Barkley say similar things, both these guys are making themselves look retarded. LeBron looks like a fucking pussy-ass bitch. Stephen A. looks like a pussy-ass bitch. Both of them look bitter. It feels like a WWE thing, but it's not. They're both actually upset about this stuff. And it's embarrassing for both of them. But I thought one of the craziest things was that LeBron James threw Brian Windhorst under the bus. LeBron is pretending like the media's been on him all his career. The media has done nothing but praise this cock-sucking, limp-dicked piece of shit. This fake hate crime, fake goat, fucking failure LeBron James. The media has done nothing but praise this piece of shit his entire fucking career and covered for him. And Michael Wilbon did have an answer to that. Bobby Barack asked, LeBron thinks the media has covered him unfairly compared to past athletes of his status. Is this true? No. LeBron is praised. I'm one of the people covering him. I've covered him for 20 years, and he deserves the praise because he's great. Has been from day one. But here's what annoys me. I've heard this from players like Kevin Durant lately. They say previous generations of players were not criticized like they are. Fuck that. They better wake the fuck up. They don't think Jordan was criticized for going to Atlantic City during the Knicks series? Really? They don't think Jordan was criticized for playing golf during the playoffs? Really? They don't think Wilt was criticized? I said to these players publicly, and I've said it privately, and I'll say it publicly, everyone gets criticized. They're just too young to know what the hell they're talking about. But maybe I'm just too old. But we do have to go over the aftermath of this, because the aftermath after in Indy, right, when he did the Pat McAfee show,
right,
LeBron James got praised for an incredible game winner, the 8th buzzer beater of LeBron James' career, only trailing one player, Michael Jordan, who did it in like 8 or 9 fewer seasons than him, by the way. But these are LeBron James buzzer beaters like this, where Luka's getting the last shot because they know they shouldn't have LeBron take the last shot.
Luka with 2 for the win. Tipped up and in. Will it count? LeBron.
Such a clutch LeBron James moment when no one boxes him out and he literally just fucking tips it in at the buzzer. Clutch for LeBron. Obviously just happenstance. That's how it happens. To be honest, these are the moments where LeBron James does get some of these. The last second shot in Toronto was like this. Really no change, had to throw it up. What the best LeBron James buzzer beater, one of the coolest moments I've seen in NBA ever watching, was Orlando Magic, Cleveland Cavaliers, I believe Eastern Conference Finals, with like no time on the clock. LeBron got it nearly like, not like half court, but like logo territory, and just had to fucking throw it real quick. That went in. Right. So these are the types of buzzer beaters LeBron ends up getting, still trailing Jordan, which is absolutely pathetic. But this is the real LeBron James that we saw the very next night against my Chicago Bulls. LeBron James single-handedly lost this fucking game for them. Lakers are up 5 points with 12 seconds left. This is LeBron's man back here. Williams in the corner. I don't know what the fuck LeBron's thinking.
Get it into Vucevic, quick pass to Williams, big shot for 3, good.
Now, if that wasn't bad enough, right, for no fucking reason, LeBron James, he's got such a high basketball IQ, he's the smartest player on the floor, right? For some reason, makes a fucking retarded mental mistake, right? Like, I don't know what the fuck you're thinking. What a dumb play.
Get it into Vucevic, quick pass to Williams, big shot for 3, good.
And then LeBron James, the inbounder, high IQ, smartest player on the floor. Wow.
2-point game, 9.8 left. Oh, loose ball, Giddy, the steal, right for the lead. Yeah!
Bang, baby. LeBron James single-handedly, in the space of about 5 seconds of game time, gave the Bulls 6 points. I mean, this inbound just fucking pathetic.
9.8 left. Oh, loose ball, Giddy, the steal, right for the lead. Yeah!
Big-time players!
Wow.
Big-time plays!
Big-time players make big-time plays. But then, you know what happened then? Like, after that, the Lakers still get a chance to tie it. Now, of course, you don't want LeBron James taking this shot. Why would you want LeBron James actually taking a last-second shot? So Austin Reeves ends up taking a shot, gets in there, drives, scores a layup with 3 seconds left. Man, you think the Lakers avoided disaster. You think LeBron James avoided disaster until this.
Bulls are out of timeouts. 2 seconds left. Giddy for the win.
Oh, my God! I cannot believe this! Elizabeth, I'm coming, baby! Unbelievable! Impossible!
Look at that guy. It looks like fucking typical gamer.
I mean, he's got a cool Kobe hat on, but that is fucking awesome. And you know what the best part was? It was right over LeBron. It was right over LeBron. Now, I don't think that this was like poorly played. You probably could have gone up and challenged a little bit more, but you obviously don't want to foul. You don't want to do that. You just want to challenge and not let him get a great shot. LeBron probably should have gone up a little quicker, but I mean, it's not like it's terrible defense there. Just a great shot.
Giddy for the win.
Oh, my God! I cannot.
Elizabeth, I'm coming for you.
So yeah, those are 2 back-to-back games there. And look, LeBron James, I don't care if you love him. I don't care if you're one of those people in the chat that are little cock-sucking bitches who will suck on LeBron's flaccid penis all day long. LeBron James has been bad this season. The Lakers are a worse team when he's on the floor. He is now the 3rd option for this team behind Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves. LeBron James couldn't handle it with Anthony Davis, so he went behind the scenes. He manipulated them to get another All-NBA first-team player in Luka Doncic on the team. LeBron James plus-minus is minus 76 this season, which means that overall, the Lakers have scored 76 fewer points than they've given up while he is on the floor. LeBron James is not having a good season. Yeah, you know what? He's averaging 24, 25, 8, 7, whatever. In terms of his efficiency, in terms of his defensive work, LeBron makes the Lakers worse when he's on the floor. Luckily, he made him draft his son, too. So there's another roster spot. But I think this entire LeBron James saga out there trying to blame everything on the media covering him poorly, fucking taking shots at Brian Windhorst, who has always had his back. LeBron James is a beta cuck. He is a fucking bitch. And Lakers are not going to win the championship. They're going to fail again this year. And LeBron and the media are going to find some way to spin it off. LeBron James is going to be remembered as maybe the most gifted athlete we've ever seen walk onto an NBA floor. He's also going to be remembered for not being able to get it done with more talent than anyone had ever had on their team before. He's also going to be remembered as the guy that took the NBA from the heights that they were at to the lows that they now currently exist in. He's never going to be remembered as the greatest of all time, despite what he so desperately is trying to convince everyone of. And that probably is why he's been so triggered over a lot of this stuff and why he is responding more than he has in the past, because he realized that this opportunity is his legacy fucking going down the drain. So
There you go. Well said.
Oh, look, Luka has been huge for the team. Luka has been phenomenal for the team. Now that LeBron James is back on the floor, I think they're going to win one, lose one, win one, lose one, win one, lose one. They beat the Memphis Grizzlies last night. And we'll see. They've got an interesting stretch of games coming up. But, I mean, look, they would have had no shot until they traded for Luka and got arguably the top 3 player in the NBA. You know, if you want to look at Jokic, you want to look at Doncic, you want to look at Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for OKC. It's going to be interesting to see how OKC does and they perform in the playoffs. They're obviously running everybody out of the fucking gym right now. But how is it going to be in the playoffs once again? I don't know. Denver Nuggets. We'll see. I think second round exit for the Lakers as well, but it's going to depend a lot on matchups. The Warriors with Jimmy Butler and a healthy Steph Curry look like a completely different team, because Jimmy is one of the things that no one talks about as often enough when it comes to Jimmy is his abilities as a facilitator. Jimmy's really good as a facilitator, and oftentimes you see a lot of even kind of like what would be like a hockey assist or whatever, like one pass that Jimmy makes that leads to the next pass where a guy's hitting him. And I think that this Warriors team could potentially be scary with Jimmy and Steph playing the way that they are. We'll see. All right. Where are we? Wilt was called a stat padding choke artist crybaby that needed a super team to beat the Celtics. What the fuck? Connor Akers, how fitting that Giddey shot the ball with less than 1.8 seconds left. Giddey, 18, just a number to him. Just a number. Allegedly. We covered that story a while ago. Dumb age for Ryan, would you ever wear a LeBron jersey on stream? Never. Never. Not a fucking chance in hell. I don't even care if he went to the Bulls. There's no way.
Ooh, if LeBron went to the Bulls, you're not getting a jersey?
No.
No.
It would, to be honest.
What if he wins? What if he helps you win a finals? Would you get a jersey? And he plays out of his fucking mind. And he brings the finals championship.
I still don't know if I could get a jersey. It would actually be a crazy fucking experience for me to have to deal with that. Like, the idea of even rooting for the team with LeBron on the team would be very tough. Like, I don't know what I would do. I might just not watch basketball. Like,
that's how I felt when LeBron went to the Lakers. I just stopped watching, dude. And I haven't cared about basketball since LeBron went to the Lakers, because I used to be into the NBA. But once LeBron went to the Lakers, I just couldn't give less of a fuck.
I pray that never happens. I don't think it ever will. I think he's Lakers till he retires. So it is what it is. Hopefully that'll be fucking tomorrow. The Lurker from Bama for 5. Ryan Beardup, y'all thought about giving the UFL a watch? It's football. Keep up the videos, my guys. I have never been able to get too into whether it's UFL, whether it's fucking XFL, AAF, like a lot of these ones that have popped up. It's just tough for me to get into it. Oftentimes the play itself just isn't very good, which is tough.
I got into the XFL when it made its comeback. I was watching, and then I was watching it shortly after because COVID kind of shut it down, and then I forget which one came back more recently with, is it the UFL or the XFL that has like the St. Louis Battlehawks and the Texas Renegade or the Dallas Renegade or whatever it is. Was that the XFL? I don't know. There was one year where AJ McCarron.
The Battlehawks are UFL.
Okay, so maybe it's but the XFL and the UFL merged, right? They merged a few years ago after the rock bottom. There was one year where AJ McCarron was playing, and I forget who he was playing. He might have been playing for the Battlehawks. I don't know. AJ McCarron left the. Well, it's in the offseason, so he didn't technically have to leave the NFL. But he played for the UFL, and he played really good. And I believe that he won the championship. Like, played out of his mind good. Like, I like that for guys who are a career backup. They know that they don't have a problem being career backup, but guys who want to still play and compete at a high level, and they get their shot to do it in the offseason with the UFL. Like, A.J. McCarron says he stepped away from the NFL for a year because his kids are young and finally old enough to understand what football is and what he does for a living. So he walked away from the NFL for a year, went and played the UFL, played out of his mind, and won a championship. And he was like, that's all I wanted, was for my kids to see me play. And then he went back to the NFL to back up or whatever.
Yeah,
now I think he's out of the league.
I think they opened up their season a few days ago. I don't know how many people went. I think it was in Houston, but it's just tough, man. It's tough for me to watch them. If I have nothing else going on, I'll watch it and turn it on, but it's just tough for me to get into.
Mm-hmm. Arena League football used to be fun back in the day.
Arena football was an interesting, like, couple year fad, it felt like. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was exciting, I guess.
Big hits in arena football.
Connor Akers for fraud. The Sweet 16 is the round of March Madness that R. Kelly and Jared from Subway enjoy the most. You know, look, very true, probably. But this March Madness has been not as mad as it typically is. We just haven't seen the upsets, even in that first and second round. You've got a lot of chalk. And that's why I felt in my bracket. I'm looking at my bracket. I look at my picks. I'm like, man, it was almost embarrassing because I had so much chalk in the Final Four and Elite Eight. But it's just what I felt. I felt like we know that some of these teams have just been the best teams all along. You never know when upsets are going to happen. I think it's been kind of nice for me, who actually loves watching basketball. It's been kind of nice for me to not have as many upsets, because as fun as that is, and it is fucking fun to see people's brackets get blown up, to see the underdog come and beat this fucking team. It is also nice every once in a while to see the best teams playing against each other. And that's really what we have. You know, the teams that are left are the ones that we thought were the best teams in the country. And so I've enjoyed that. And I've seen a lot of good basketball over the past couple of weeks because of that. So now I'm sure a lot of people do want to just see the craziness. However, a lot of people are tuning in. March Madness ratings apparently are all-time highs. It was for the first and second rounds. I don't know if we know Sweet 16 round. Obviously, we don't know Elite Eight because it's not even over, but it'll be interesting because those are on record highs. So people have been tuning in despite no big upsets. No NBA social media back then, says Dark Knight Rider. Just segregation. Thank you. Cole Hauser for 5. Nice seeing a white boy bring the Bulls to the promised land. That must really piss LeBron off. Go white boys. Go Yankees. I'm not going to lie. Josh Giddey, whatever happened with that girl down in Oklahoma City whenever he was there, whatever happened there, don't really know. But he's been on a tear, man. He has been on a tear for them. He threatened... Last time they played the Lakers, I think he threatened to have a quadruple double. He had like 8 steals in the game, 9 steals, something like that. A lot of them against LeBron's bitch ass. Bron don't like playing the Bulls, I guess. But the team's been really fun to watch over the past couple weeks. They're not going to do shit. I mean, they're going to make the play in or something and then lose and have a 13th or 14th overall pick or something. I don't know. We said that. SBZ Ryan, wear LeBron Bulls jersey or attend a FurCon? I would rather attend a FurCon than wear a LeBron James jersey. No lies there. That's how much I disrespect him. Chris Carano, Orlando Predators are still playing arena football.
There you go.
The old Preds. Oh, actually, hold on. This actually explains so much about it. This guy's been fucking dick riding LeBron the entire fucking stream. Right? Why is it that so many adults who are not autistic like me? Okay, you just explain everything I need to know about why you're fucking retarded, because you're actually a retard. So I had been calling you retarded just because of your LeBron James takes, Michael. I didn't know you were actually fucking retarded. So I retract all the times that I called you fucking retarded just because of your LeBron takes. Turns out you're an actual retard. I don't typically like calling actual retards retarded. So I retract all the times that I called you retarded, Michael. But yeah, but in general, bronzexuals are fucking retarded. So. But my deepest apologies. I hope you could tell that was genuine, that I really feel contrition about calling you a retard, Michael. I didn't know you were an actual retard. All right. We're all caught up over on the Rumble side as well. We got to talk a little about Gina Carano, which I didn't think we'd be talking about Gina Carano. On Friday, when I was thinking of what we're going to talk about on Sports Wars Sunday, I didn't think we'd be talking about Gina Carano, but we are going to. I just thought this was interesting. You like UFC? You like MMA, right, Beardo?
Oh, yeah. Yep. I'm a fan. I'm no expert, but I enjoy it. I enjoy the sport.
I'm 100% a very casual fan, right?
Yeah, me too.
That's the way I feel about it. That's the way I feel about it. And when it comes to women's MMA, hasn't exactly always been as popular as men's MMA for sure. But it was interesting when ESPN MMA put out a list of the best and most influential women's MMA fighters over the past several decades. There seemed to be an interesting person missing from the list. This is the tweet from ESPN MMA. Champions, trailblazers, Hall of Famers, and icons. From Amanda Nunes to Ronda Rousey, these stars shattered stereotypes and elevated women's MMA to unprecedented heights in the 21st centuries. And if you're talking about trailblazers and people that elevated women in MMA, I can think of one name, somebody who I've met a couple times, that would actually probably have to be part of that list, and that's probably Gina Carano. Not because she's been relevant in MMA the past 15 years or 10 years, but because she was one of the trailblazers that made people pay attention to women's MMA in the very first place, right? In her lead up and run before she got beat by Chris Cyborg, who we all know everything, all the accusations about Chris Cyborg, not just accusations, what happened with her tests when it comes to Chris Cyborg. But, here's your list. Amanda Nunes is right there. Chris Cyborg happens to be in there, despite all of the testings that we know happened. Ronda Rousey, Valentina, who's had a great run over the past several years. Joanna's in there as well. She had a great run. Rose Namajunas. I've got a signed picture of Rose Namajunas downstairs. Rose Namajunas. Zhang Wei Li is there. Misha Tate. Right? I think a lot of these people deserving. Now, listen, I got to be honest. I don't know anything about this bitch. Megumi Fuji. Don't know anything about her. Holly Holm. 100%. Understand why Holly Holm would be on this list. But there's one person who wasn't, and it was Gina Carano. And even Dana White himself chimed in on this. Again, ESPN and UFC have a partnership. And Dana White is calling this shit out. Gina Carano not being on this list is insane. And this is Gina's response. You think ESPN MMA does not have qualified journalists who know real WMMA history? Or are they trying to rewrite history by keeping me out of it? Even Dana White called them out. No, they won't be rewriting my history. If anything, they're writing themselves into mine. When I get through this, I think jaws will drop. Thank you, everyone, for the support.
Wow.
And she shares a couple things. And Ronda Rousey famously said one of the only people she'd come back to fight was Gina, if Gina would come back. I do wonder... I think there might be a chance we do potentially see. Maybe we haven't seen the last of Gina Carano fighting. I don't know. Maybe there's something that could happen in the future. But now ESPN MMA got fucking destroyed on this. They're getting ratioed. And, is this because they genuinely didn't think Gina Carano deserved to be on this list? Is this because ESPN is owned by Disney, who currently has a lawsuit with Gina Carano right now? I don't know. But I love the clapback from Gina, and I love that Dana White has her back too.
Yep. And I think 100% that is why she was left out. It's because of the whole Disney thing, and Disney owns ESPN. 100% that's the reason. There's no other reason why she wouldn't be included in this list.
Yeah, I think it has to be. When you're talking about the people who have helped boost it to new heights, a literal trailblazer when you're talking about that. Now, if you want to talk about who would win this fight or this fight or this fight, whatever. But if you're talking about influential people, and that's what this list is supposed to be about, especially when you got a little bit further down, like not having her on there is ridiculous. And I'm glad she called this shit out. It's going to be interesting to see what happens as time goes on.
Yep.
Yes, shout out to Gina Carano. It would require Disney to give Gina credit since Disney owns ESPN. Not surprising. Disney is gay after all. They're pretty gay.
Well, very gay.
Very gay. I saw you had to do that for like forever on
for 4 races during Mario Kart, dude. I was getting hysterical doing that shit. Now it just slips out every now and then. All of a sudden, I'll just be responding to something. I just do my terrible Trump impression.
What about the RFK?
I haven't done RFK in a while. From what I understand, you have a pretty good one.
I don't really think so. I'm not really good at RFK. What am I supposed to say? Well, when you go to Steak and Shake, the seed oils, they're way better now. They're way better now, and I just think that when McDonald's changed, I don't fucking know. Just like sound literally like
we're at 40 in our children's cereal. All the food colorings in other countries, there's not the food coloring, but here in America, they get away with the red, yellow colorings.
Fucking RFK. Beef tallow makes your voice quiver, apparently. I don't know. I think the steps we need to take in the fast food industry have everything to do with service and nothing to do with the food. I'm fine with the food the way it is. Just fucking let me get my order right. Stop, let it not be made by fucking retarded people like LeBron James fans, right?
Right.
No jobs for them.
Come on.
Jose Taco. Gina said she will fight if Jay got a fight. Let's see. Not sports related, but AC Shadows is bad and sick.
Thank you.
Bad and sick. Sick isn't a bad thing, I assume, with that. Well, maybe you get a chance to talk about that in about an hour and a half or so, John. Like, I'm going to do my stream, the member stream in a little bit over there. So I'm sure we'll be talking about AC Shadows and Ubisoft. But
there you go.
Hey, look, that's it for us today, guys. Thanks for hanging out. My Purdue Boilermakers, a fucking crushing end of the season. Rough way to go out, but super proud of all those guys. Matt Painter I would not trade Matt Painter for any coach in the rest of college basketball. Out of all the fucking teams in the Sweet 16, Purdue's the only one that doesn't have any fucking transfers. Everybody on their team started on that team. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if we have maybe one transfer, maybe one transfer next year. We'll see. But this team's going to be fierce, and they're going to be out for fucking not revenge or anything next year, but they're going to have to prove it next year. I'm excited for it. So, Beardo, what do you got going on, man?
Nothing much. I'm going to defrost some meats, and I don't know. I'm going to barbecue something up today. Just chill. Take it easy. Watch some baseball.
There you go. You should have watched the Angels yesterday if you wanted to see them win. So
yeah, it's not going to happen for a while. It's rare when the Angels win.
All right. But that's going to do it for us, everybody. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Even fucking queers like Michael, autistic queers like Michael, the bronze-sexual representation in the chat. That's it. Have a good day, everybody. We'll talk to you next week.